All right, folks, it is May 4th, 2021. This is Stoic America 2021. I got my first strike on YouTube, and it was my fault because I let my emotions get the better of me, and I convinced my partner to do an Oscar show, and we broadcast it. And there were things I think said on there that don't necessarily reflect the best of me, anyway. And it was not a Stoic Calm show. It was an Oscar show. But that is my alarm, by the way, folks. Sorry about that. Let me just. Sorry about that. But my anger does get the best of me, and sometimes it does. It gets less and less, but it does get the better of me at times, and I'm not necessarily proud of that. Now, this is what is it? This is the I believe this is the anniversary of Kent State. And again, an examination of that facts without emotion. I mean, there were people killed on that day. Were they murdered? That is that's still up for debate. I know that the popular opinion is that they were murdered, but and there are a lot of people who cannot look at that situation with objective eyes. And another thing that I was looking at, there was an Asian kid that was punched in the face. He was punched in the head or punched in the face. He suffered a concussion. And Tariq Nasheed says what they leave out of the story is the Asian kid kept flagrantly fouling the black kid and wasn't getting called for it. Then the black kid started pushing him off of them. Now they are spinning it into another black on Asian hate crime narrative. It was still was that really an appropriate response to what happened? Kid may have been aggressive on the basketball court, but does that mean you punch a kid in the face? And one guy, Korean farmer said, goat farmer says, was a racial word used, yes or no? And one guy said, I didn't hear any. And then another person say, me no speak English. And then someone said, who invited you over? And I don't know what that means by that. I don't know what someone means by who invited you over, but this is someone who is pro-communist, pro-equity for all, anti-elitist, anti-establishment, anti-racist. Yeah, it's kind of hard to, for me, when I look at a situation, there are people who believe in what they believe, and they don't necessarily want to hear your point of view. As a matter of fact, they will um, stop you from speaking. That seems to be what is happening now. The town square is not necessarily the town square anymore, or the digital town square is not necessarily the digital town square. I guess because for a large part they believe that white people cannot help themselves, and if things are going to be said, I guess Hitler will be resurrected from the dead, and some form of Jim Crow or other or some kind of Holocaust will rise again if uh, if there's uh, if there's too much freedom of speech. I don't think that makes any sense, and there are people that will actively stop this out into the street if you bring up certain subject matters. They will they will violently stop you. We see in Portland, which, by the way, the news doesn't cover that often. I mean, the fact that the mayor of Portland has been smashed, I believe, has been smashed in the face. Nobody really says much about that, but that should make mainstream news. But the mainstream is in for social justice, and they're going to point out their propaganda, and it's propaganda like I've never seen before. But what can you do? I mean, if somebody doesn't want to talk to you, you can't force them. And right now, the laws are such that they decide what goes on and what does not go on this platform, and I have to respect it to the best of my ability. And again, not many people listen to it, so probably not much change is going to happen. I primarily do this for myself, and if anyone listens, that's kind of a bonus. It's like when you go to play a sports game, the game the game itself is the fun part, and winning, if you win, it's a bonus. And if I gain more listeners, well, that's a bonus. And I got to remember another thing that was said from an overcoming procrastination. He wrote a book about overcoming procrastination. He said, perfection is the enemy of progress. You can't hope to do things that are perfect and progress. And that's kind of the way our political situation is right now. People want perfection, but that doesn't lead to compromise, and it doesn't lead to anything healthy. We're not really in a healthy place right now. We're into a very balkanized place, and the one group, there are two groups, the woke and I guess you could say the ultra pro Trump. But the pro Trump people, they're at least more likely to listen than the ultra woke. The ultra woke will shut you down if they don't like what you say or what you do. But that's where we're at, and like I said, I guess there's not a lot that can be done now. Perhaps there will be a change, but I don't see I don't see people having, fanatics changing. And I used to try to engage them, but that's kind of like asking a hot girl who doesn't find you attractive uh, to see past all that. It's not going to happen. And if people don't find your ideas palatable, they're going to shut them down. Even, like I said, these people do not believe in free speech. People who preach hate speech, think that hate speech is a thing, don't believe in freedom of speech. And people who believe that freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of reach, they also don't believe in freedom of speech either. So they're kind of fake. But it seems like hypocrisy is kind of the rule of the day, and how they define it. That's kind of the rule of the day as well. Uh, that's all I have to say about now. I will come on with longer events, and before I didn't show my face and I didn't have the camera on, but I think I'm going to do that now, just to change things up a bit. And like I said, the last show I did, I was excited and angry, and that's it wasn't well thought out, and the strike I got, I believe, was a copyright strike, and I want to obey the YouTube rules. Hopefully, they allow me to speak and give my opinion, and it's just an opinion. If I can be proven wrong, I'm certainly I'm certainly willing to uh, to be proven wrong. I believe my partner Joe believes the same thing. Anyway, this has been Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like and subscribe and leave a comment down below, particularly if you don't agree with me. You're going to vote a thumbs down. Don't vote a thumbs down and not leave a comment. Thank you.